team of the competition. We identified, we wanted to get off to a fast start, and not so much a fast start, but we wanted to even things out and try and make a little bit of a grind early to stay with them, and didn't quite go according to plan. They're like, the team they are. They smell the blood in the water, and they really put us to the sword in that first quarter. I think it was 5-1 at quarter time, and I thought, we bounced back okay over the course of the last 3 quarters, but they took our game away from us for fair chunks of it, and they're a formidable opposition. So
obviously you're able to win one lead scoring contested footy, and once you're able to kind of get free and get on the fast break, you're able to score. Was that really what you expected from today's game?
Yeah, we probably thought we broke down a little bit coming into forward 50 with we probably didn't pick and choose when we hit the short one or when we bombed it long. We didn't really get our balance right. And that's a really good learning thing for us moving forward. But we were pleased that, in the periods where we were able to play the way that we want to play and to our style, we seemed to be competitive when we retained the footy a little bit more and moved it the way we wanted to move.
Yep. Your leadership group of Rice, Campbell and Carter were all quite impressive today. What kind of impact does that have on the group when they're all up and about?
Yeah, especially, and I thought today as well, along with those guys, Marcus Davies as well, out of the back line with his physicality around the ball and his ball use. We expect those guys to play well and lead the group every week and drag the rest of them along. Those leaders have to stand up in these sorts of games, and that was probably a pleasing thing about it. That if you probably do look at our best players, that it was a fair chunk of our leadership group and our more experienced guys.
Yep. Obviously, it's pretty might be too soon to tell. But you've seen any changes with the injury or through the Mercury Cup form today? Obviously, you got the win. So
yeah. Look, we've got the bye next week, which is really good. So no, that's all good. We'll be able to freshen up the boys. A few a little bit sore towards the end of the game, so it's coming at a good time. And we expect after the bye, we'll get Connor Bryant back, Nick Hutchinson, Lockie Griggs, and depending on what's happening with a little bit of Mariners stuff, who's playing and who isn't. So we've potentially got 4 to 5 to come in after the bye when we play Lauderdale, which will be fantastic for the group.
Yeah, mate, too easy. Overall thoughts were we had a lot of the ball, but weren't able to use it going forward effectively enough, and that's probably due to the fact that they had a lot of numbers behind the ball at stages. We overused it a little bit. Yep. Obviously, able to play the game on your terms as much as possible in the first half. What was said at the halftime break to kind of continue this trend? Yeah, I thought our first quarter and our second half of the second quarter was quite good. I thought our intent was really, really good. I don't really have to say much to our group. They know what we need to do. And I just thought that we obviously had a couple of injuries. With Walsh cutting his finger and Pano a little bit sore, so we kind of run out of legs at the end with not many rotations. So credit to the Tigers who kept taking the game on. Yep. On the trend of injuries, Casey Curtis obviously came off towards the end with his shoulder. What do you see happening there? Well, he's popped his shoulder out, so he's on his way to hospital now. So I just guess we won't have him for a few weeks. Yeah. Yep. Jordan Cousins was obviously quite strong today. What was, in terms of his recruitment, how handy has that been to have a bloke like that around the club? Yeah, he's definitely matured a lot over the years, Jordan. He was at our club 2012, 2013, played Colts footy back then. He's returned and he's definitely a mature head now, and he knows his game, and he's been good the first half of the year, or the first 2 weeks anyway. Yep. The young blokes, Cody Lowe, Sharon Egger, Ben Simpson and Casey Curtis, they had quite a good game today. How good would it have been to have them around the group and kind of thrive on some of the other blokes? Yeah, Sharon was great today. Sharon was definitely best on from my point of view. His intent and attack on the man and the ball was fantastic. Cody Lowe, he's learning his craft a little bit. He's continuing to improve, and I think Case, it's disappointing with his shoulder injury because I thought he had a really good pre-season and he was setting himself up well with the first game last week and then again this week, so it's a little disappointing for him. Yep, and last, the milestone games obviously to Jay Food and Alex Lee. Are they something we kind of touched on throughout the group, or are they just kind of pushed aside to kind of focus on everything else? No, we definitely touch on them. 100 games at the footy club is fantastic effort for Jay. And Alex to play 50 as well as 50 with Devonport is a fantastic effort. So it's definitely brought up, and it's not shunned away, definitely not. Beautiful. Sweet, mate. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thank you.